What is your favorite season?
Awards.
So that's me. And the Oscar season has come and went, and I think it's time we talk about it. That is my favorite award show of the year, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about the Oscar season and the show itself. This Oscar season, I would say, wasn't as good as last year, in my opinion, but it was not lacking with drama and controversy. This video is mainly going to be focused on the Oscar award show itself, but I am going to talk a little bit about the different movies and what I think about them, and just the whole season in general. There were a lot of fun bits and some awkward moments, so let's just talk about everything that went on.
Adam, what are you wearing?
What are you doing right now?
The opening of the Oscars was so good. We started things off with the brilliant choice of having Ariana Grande sing Somewhere Over the Rainbow and Cynthia Erivo singing Home from The Wiz. And then they came together and sang Defying Gravity, and it was everything. It was so good. The whole room stood up and applauded them. It was amazing.
Just you and I defying gravity. With you and I defying gravity.
And whoever did this camera work deserves a huge kiss, because look at that. This was everything to me. The way that she was standing and singing, and then Ariana singing this part. Made my night. First 5 minutes of the show, and I'm so happy. I was crying. It was a lot. If it wasn't already obvious, I'm a huge Wicked fan, so. And then we get to the fun part where we have Conan O'Brien as the host, which at first I wasn't all that excited about. Because at first I was like, oh, just like some other like old talk show guy, like I don't really care. But he was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. There were some laughs. He did this weird skit where he was climbing out of Demi Moore's body. Good stuff. Classic Oscar stuff. But then he comes on stage and he does his jokes. He makes a couple little jabs at the nominees that I thought were pretty good. It wasn't anything over the top or very offensive. Some people just take it way too far. They do like offensive jokes, and I always feel like it could just be kept a little bit lighter. Takes a couple hits of some of the current events going on in the country. And then he did a little musical number, and it truly felt like how the Oscars used to feel. I've been watching the Oscars since, I don't even know, like I've been watching them a long time, and they haven't felt like this, like back to how they're supposed to feel in a long time. So I appreciated it. They also did a beautiful tribute to LA and Hollywood, and they showed all these movies that showed iconic places in LA, and I really love that. Now let's talk about the actual awards. Now I haven't watched all the movies nominated for Best Picture. I've watched 6 out of 10, and I usually try to, but this year it was extremely hard because the last 4 that I needed to see were not showing at my local theaters, and they were not available to rent or stream. You could rent some for $25 on Amazon Prime, but I was not going to do that. But I'll watch them eventually. But I wasn't all that excited about all of these movies. Here are the ones I watched. I watched Anora, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, The Substance, and Wicked, obviously. I actually watched Wicked 3 times. Originally, I was going to make a movie reviewing all of the Best Picture nominees before I knew I couldn't watch them. And when I came up to talking about Wicked, I was like, I can't give like an unbiased review of this movie. Like, no. But yeah, I don't think this year was as exciting as past years, and especially compared to last year. Last year's movies were just really good, and I got to watch all of them last year before the Oscars, so I was pretty proud of myself. I feel like last year's Oscar season marked that movies are finally back, and then I think this year showed that they're moving in a different direction. Indie films were really in the spotlight, which I love to see. Films like that are making their mark on the industry could be leading the way that things are changing in Hollywood. Because for a while, it felt like it was just so many commercial films that were really taking the spotlight at the Oscars. Part of that could have been just like in pandemic times, how badly the movie industry was doing. And then another is just, I don't know, a dry spell. Now, there were some snubs and some things that I was disappointed about, like Demi Moore not winning Best Actress. Hello? Speaking of which, Anora really swept the show, winning 5 awards total, which was the most of the night. They won Best Director, Best Actress, Best Editing, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Picture. That's crazy. And it's especially crazy because it's an indie film. So it's an exciting accomplishment. Personally, I would rate Anora like 3.5, 4 stars. I think I did give it 4 stars on Letterboxd, but I was kind of disappointed with the ending, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, and it had a lot of good funny moments, and I really liked the cinematography of it. But I don't know, I feel like maybe the ending that they tried to do was kind of just lackluster. Like, maybe they could have written the characters a bit better if they were going to go in that direction. But the story was very unique, and it also felt very realistic. I think we've all kind of been in a weird situation where we were just never going to get closure about somebody. This was like the worst situationship ever, but I am really inspired by the indie aspect of this film. It only had a budget of about $6 million, and it brought in $41 million at the box office. But I was very impressed with Sean Baker not only directing this film, but writing and editing as well. And apparently that's what Sean Baker's about. I gotta do a little more research on him, but very interesting. Though I don't necessarily agree with the results, I do think it's exciting to see a film like this take home Best Picture. It feels very hopeful for smaller filmmakers out there. So like I said before, the spotlight really is being shown on indie films. So other than Anora, we also had Flow, I'm Still Here, and The Brutalist. Now, The Brutalist, that's an indie film? I was kind of confused by this because I knew it was put out by A24 and it had big stars like Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones. So I'm like, how is it indie? The budget was only $9.6 million, which still kind of keeps it in the indie range. And it was made with very artistic elements and aspects that you would expect of an indie film. And then we have Flow, which is a no dialogue animated film from Latvia. And it took home the Oscar for Best Animated Feature Film, which is a huge deal. The budget of this film was around $3 million. Now compare that to The Wild Robot, which was put out by DreamWorks with a $78 million budget. Not that big budgets and big studios are what makes a good movie, but it's really impressive to see something like Flow beat that, and also the huge Disney blockbuster Inside Out 2 with its $200 million budget and all-star cast. I'm really impressed by this, and I'm really happy for the filmmakers. I just watched it the day after the Oscars, and it's such a beautiful movie. So good. I highly recommend watching it. And then we have I'm Still Here with its $1 million budget, and that took Best International Film. Some people think also the actress from that movie, Fernanda Torres, she should have won Best Actress. I mean, I can't say I haven't seen the movie, but she did win Best Actress at another show, so I did think she might have been in the running. I was counting on Demi Moore, but we'll talk more about Best Actress in a little bit. But truly an impressive feat for indie filmmakers and fans alike. Let's talk a little about Emilia Perez. She was the Oscar villain of this year. No one can understand why the critics are giving this film such accolades. Audiences hated it. Critics love it. I don't understand how this is even in the Oscar running. I could totally just see the actors getting nominated for this, but the movie? And the music? No. This movie was originally expected to sweep at the award shows, and it was for a little bit. But then, I don't know, maybe it's the controversy of the resurfaced tweets of star Carla Sofia Gascon, or maybe just someone finally opened their damn eyes to this movie. But Emilia Perez was nominated for 13 Academy Awards. It only ended up taking home 2, which was one for Best Original Song for El Mal, and the other was Best Supporting Actress for Zoe Saldana. Now that's deserved. Like, I think Zoe has been due to get her Oscar. It's just odd that this was the movie she got it for. Best Song was El Mal. I would say that's like one of the more tolerable songs of the film. I'm really not like a harsh film critic, and I love musicals. But what was going on with Emilia Perez? If I had to choose a song that I actually liked, I would choose the one that Selena Gomez sang at the karaoke night. That one was kind of fun. El Mal, I would say, is like a runner-up to that one. It's not terrible, but you know no one's gonna like go back and listen to that one again, except for the Academy members, apparently. I don't agree with this choice, but at least El Mal wasn't the worst song in the movie.
Hello, very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operation.
I see. Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
But personally, I would have rather have seen Diane Warren win, finally, one of her, 17 nominations. The best part of this award, though, was when they went up to accept it, and at the end of their speech, they were just singing Amelia Perez, and the audience probably was just like, what are we... Okay.
And thank you to Emilia, Epiphany.
Congrats, it's a huge win, but I don't know. I felt like secondhand embarrassment for them. Speaking of bad songs, I really want to know who decided to play Lacrimosa for the In Memoriam segment. Yeah, the song is about mourning, and this is the segment to honor those who have passed. But they usually go with something a little simpler, like maybe John Legend coming out and singing something kind of sad but not terrible on the piano. And the song is iconic to cinema itself, so you would think it's not a weird choice, but it still felt really weird and unserious, which I thought was pretty bad because Hollywood lost a lot of people this year. And they also left out Michelle Trachtenberg, who had just died the day before Gene Hackman. So I don't really understand what's up with that. She wasn't an Oscar-winning actress, but she was an actress. Hello. Okay, I just changed my lighting because it just got super dark for no reason. It's only 4 o'clock. I can't handle this weather anymore. So now I'd like to talk about The Substance. I think they should have won more. The Substance won the obvious choice of Best Makeup and Hairstyling, but I also feel it could have easily gotten Best Original Screenplay or Best Director. I still stand by my choice that Demi Moore should have won Best Actress. This is no hate to Mikey Madison. I think she was great. And like I said before, Fernanda Torres, she was also in the running, and I was honestly concerned that she would beat Demi, but no. I was just disappointed. I wanted my girl to win. My girl, who's the same age as my parents. Also, I was a little bit disappointed by Adrien Brody winning Best Actor. Not that I don't think he deserves it necessarily. I know he's a great actor. But the fact that The Brutalist had to use AI to enhance the Hungarian accents of the characters is come on. The only 2 films I heard about using AI was The Brutalist and Amelia Perez. And I am highly against using AI to make film. That's a much deeper topic. I think there's a place for AI, but I don't think it's there because you got to compare it to other actors too. I'm a huge fan of the show Killing Eve. I'm a big Jodie Comer fan, and she is able to pull off so many accents, whether in one role like Killing Eve, where she has done so many accents just in one show alone. She had to learn all these different accents, not only for Killing Eve, but a bunch of other roles that she's done too. They didn't use AI to make them sound better. I don't understand. If he's such a great actor to get the Oscar, why couldn't he have just perfected his accent on his own? And the rest of the cast, for that matter. So I kind of feel like maybe Timothée Chalamet should have won that because he did embody Bob Dylan for 5 years to make that movie. And the work that he put into it, not that Adrien Brody didn't put work in, but the AI aspect definitely tinged it for me. I'm sure that's not his decision. That's probably just the filmmaker's decision on that. But I don't know. It's an interesting debate. Some honorable mentions I'd like to talk about was the cat from Flow holding its Oscar. That was adorable. Whoever did that, brilliant. I love you. I think it's amazing and extremely important that No Other Land won for Best Documentary. I've not watched it yet, but I have been wanting to. It's been on my list, and for everything that's going on right now, it just feels like a little blip of hope, and I'm finally, Dune 2 won its well-deserved awards of Best Visual Effects and Best Sound. When I heard that Dune 2 was nominated, I was like, oh man, I gotta watch the first one because I never watched it. But I watched both of these movies, and I was amazed. I'm obsessed. Dune 2 was really good. I kind of think maybe it could have won more awards, but those were definitely the obvious choices. Do you think Anora should have won as much as it did? And did anyone else notice that the president of the Academy was sitting near the Anora group? I'm not saying anything, but I don't know. I didn't really think Anora was gonna win Best Picture, especially when the Oscars notoriously awards, like, long, pretentious films. I haven't watched The Brutalist. I don't even really want to, but I will for science. But I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised. And did anyone else notice that the people that won for like short films or the tech awards, basically people that are just not like super famous, they got a lot less time for their speeches than like other people. And then you have Adrian Brody going up there and yelling to shut the music off. That kind of annoyed me. Like I don't really care if the show runs overtime, but I was just like, these people, they need like more time. These people need time too. Like, I don't get it. I think the Oscars were great this year, despite the lackluster of the films overall. I think Conan was a pretty good host, and he did a good mix of like comedy and also a musical bit. I love a musical bit. And it made for an enjoyable time watching a 3.5-hour show. I still plan to watch the rest of the movies nominated for Best Picture and probably some others. And I would love to make a video talking about them because I want to make more videos about movies and shows and stuff. If you would be interested in that or would like to see me review specific movies, please leave a comment below. I would love to do that. And that about does it. I hope you enjoyed the Oscars and the award shows this year so far. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps me grow my channel. And I will see you guys next time.